Thanks, Chairperson. I thought I was going to be the final speaker, but happy to get an opportunity. Thank you well done for how you've hosted and how the committee clerks have I suppose, organised all of this at short notice. I think it would have been helpful to have had Reno here and Ryan Tubridy. I think it could have helped to paint a more fulsome picture. A few questions I have, quite a number, and I'm going to go nice and quick with them. I don't have many statements to make, but more questions to ask, and I hope you can answer them as well. First of all, I'd like to know, where is Ryan Tubridy? Of course, he's not here, but many of your former RT colleagues have gone into kind of media consultancy, and some of us have been to them, and we've been told how to best manage ourselves as politicians if a crisis is unfolding. The one thing we've always been told is don't go into hiding, come out front-footed, explain yourself. We'd just like to know, where is Ryan? I know he's given some commentary to the media, but you've told us that for editorial reasons he's not on air. Who has made that editorial decision? Is it the production team of his radio show, or is it your good selves?
So as the kind of Deputy Director General, I have.
So you have made the editorial decision. Is this the first time you've made an editorial decision in your role?
No, well, so my background is editorial.
Yes.
But ultimately this is my decision because I'm the acting editor-in-chief at the moment.
Okay, so there's a bit of a chasm on air at the moment, because in most Irish households, Ryan is the messiah, not the pariah. And what has to happen for him to go back on air? What will make you change your editorial decision? Because people are wondering, where is he and when will we hear his voice in the airwaves?
Yeah, at the moment it's not tenable for him to be on air for editorial reasons.
And what is the editorial reason? Could you explain that? Could you headline it for us?
Yeah, the editorial reason is we wouldn't give our platform or airwaves to anyone who is either a public figure or a person who is involved in a controversy, and that just wouldn't happen. Unless he was going on.
Are you saying that he has done something wrong?
Ryan Tubridy entered a lawful contract with RT, and actually, this is, and I know I've spoken about the corporate governance issue, this is not an editorial issue. This is a significant failure in terms of controls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could I next ask, there are two opposing briefs out there today. One is that he's saying he's still in a contract. He has ceased his television work, but the radio work continues. And RT, I think today, and I've been listening to you for the last few hours, is that you're now in a state of negotiating something that's very much in a state of flux. What is the truth? Because those two briefs are very opposing here this afternoon.
Yeah, so the truth is that his contract for radio and television services ended on May the 31st. We have sent out an adjustment to the agent, recognising the fact that he is no longer doing television.
Okay. Yeah. Can I next ask, the Remuneration Committee is an entity, I don't know if others have heard of it, I certainly hadn't until this afternoon. Who are they? And did they not have any, if they have a rubber stamping role in terms of Patrick Keelty's contract, did they have any rubber stamping role in terms of the 75-euro top-up?
Well, I actually take that because Siún hasn't been the chair that long. The new Remuneration Committee is me and the DG and the chair. And the previous one... And Conor Murphy, sorry. And the previous was just the last chair, the previous DG and I. And we never discussed talent in it at all. We met on very few occasions, and it was always just to discuss the remuneration for the executives.
Did your Remuneration Committee, do you only meet for the big guns, the top talent? A term I agree with Deputy Boy Barrett, a term that I think is very insulting. It implies untalented people exist in the organisation, which is rather unfair. Do you only meet to examine the remuneration of the top guns, the top talent, or would you have met in 2019, for example, when the Limerick FM staff were out in the street in Limerick, their jobs on the line, the place about to close, there is no money for the station? Would you have met in that period, or do you just focus on the top talent?
We didn't focus on the top talent at all. Like I just said, the Remuneration Committee only ever discussed executive pay and nothing else. All the negotiation of the top talent was done with the executive team alone, and it never was brought to the Remuneration Committee.
I want to wish Patrick Keelty well. He's stepping into a massive role. It's more than presenting a show. There's a certain leadership quality to this. It's the face of RT. How early on was he made aware that not only are you going to be in the spotlight on Friday nights, but there's a big banana skin there as well? How early was he told of that?
As soon as we were aware as an exec board, he was informed it was coming.
Okay. it's an unusual work environment. There's a lot of people on, contracts and sketchy enough contracts that it wouldn't be that nice to be on. And there's other people then who are contractors and they're paid handsome fees. Are there any performance-linked bonus payments within the organisation? And would D Forbes or any of the executive have been in receipt of those in recent years?
The executive doesn't get bonuses.
Okay. I also want to ask, the Deloitte, I've been audited as an elected member. They select, I think, is it 15 elected members every year randomly get selected, we get audited. An audit, as I understand it, I'm not an accountant, it relates to a single financial transacting year. So the Deloitte audit is very much focused on, year beginning to year end. Has anyone said, maybe we now need as an organisation to go back a little bit historically and look at has anything like this happened in the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Are you prepared to do that? Richard?
Can I say that the published, as I said, the published accounts were correct in what they have recorded as what was paid to Mr. Tubridy, and Deloitte audits the published accounts, and so therefore what we're talking about here in relation to this fiasco is that the figures that were released in terms of the 10 top paid individuals in RTE is where the understatements are.
Okay, that's fine, very well explained, but it's a snapshot in time. I think the people who are going to be facing their licence renewals very soon, the people who are concerned about all of this debacle are probably wondering, is this a cultural thing? Has it happened in other years? So I do think at the next time you're before a committee, I'd like you to have done a more historical analysis. I think the Deloitte thing is a snapshot. It's one trading year. It's one financial year.
Well, I'm going to have been engaged to go right back to 2008 and examine the executive or the top talent pay.
I just have 2 final quick questions.
Final.
Yeah, okay. Well, if it's the final, I've one big one to ask at the end. Last December, our national media, and they're great, some of them are here, and we rely on all of them for accuracy. They reported that RTE were set to pay €1.74 million to their employees vis-a-vis gift vouchers. This was an admirable, and I congratulate you, measure to mitigate against the huge cost of living pressures your workers and their families are facing. A lot of companies did something similar. But it does beg the question now, given that we're only discovering in the last week you have this account that can reward top talent. Were any of those vouchers, some of them €1,000, they were pretty large vouchers. Was that a catch-all pick-up to all of your employees, to all of your contractors, or did you look at those who were lowest paid? I would like to think as someone who pays licence, and I would like to think as someone who's representing the public, that public purse money was spent at the right level, and I would like to know, were some of your top stars getting that? Was it a backhand way of getting top-up payments to certain people?
So no, it was part of an overall pay deal, and every employee got it.
And I just want to conclude by thanking you, and you might just tell me at the end, Kieran Malooly, for me in the last few days, and I don't know if it's fair to name, but his Twitter feed, he was an outstanding representative, but I think he speaks for so many of your current and former employees, an outstanding figurehead of RT. What would you say to the likes of him and so many more who have had the courage to speak out in recent days?
Yeah, to someone like Kieran or whatever, as I said earlier in the day.
He didn't, this is me asking, I was not asked to put that question.
Oh, it's an unreserved apology.
And the Lyric FM staff, sorry, it's a very regionalised issue, Chairperson, but the Lyric FM staff faced down management just 4 years ago and they were told there's no money. Sorry, we have to shut this down. And I think you probably need separately to this debacle to correspond with them and say, in the fullness of time, we do owe you an apology also. And there is plenty of money in this organisation. I think that's become clear as well. Thank you for your time here today.
Okay, and I am